And today I will introduce you about our school and also about some undergraduate programs for you. So first part is about our school overview. And the School of Advanced Technology is a research and practice need institution. Our faculty and staff are committed to providing our students with a challenging and stimulating environment, as well as unlocking their full potential. Our school was established in 2019, and we bring together 5 departments with complementary skills that are in demand worldwide. So the 5 departments are Department of Communications and Networking, Department of Computing, Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Department of Mechatronics and Robotics, and Department of Intelligence Science. Just as we introduced you before, our school established in 2019. Before the establishment of our school, actually we have 2 departments. That is the Department of Computing Science and Software Engineering, and another one is about Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. So these 2 departments were established in 2007, just 1 year before the official establishment of our university. And in 2015, our electrical and electronic engineering department received the IET accreditation in UK. So the IET is a top professional academic society in the field of engineering and technology. So you may not have heard the IET before, but in fact, the IET accreditation is very important and valuable for us. So that means our courses meet the international industrial requirement, which is beneficial for our students to find their job and pursue their further studies worldwide after the graduation. At present, we have more than 100 faculty members, and more than 19% of them have the study or working or overseas study or working experience. And we provide the student with 7 UG programs, 9 PG programs, and operate research-based doctoral programs. In terms of research, we have 8 well-equipped research entities to provide our students with hands-on research experience. And for the industrial collaboration, we build strong industrial links and for mutually beneficial relationships in training, research, and business development. We try to provide the students with industrial placements to enhance their career development. And so far, we have achieved a lot of teaching achievements. For example, we have 2 disciplines in our school has entered the ESI top 1% which are the engineering and computer science. So also in the Times Higher Education World Subject Ranking, our computer science ranked in the 201 to 250, and our engineering ranked in 251 to 300. For our graduates, so we will use the example in year 2021. As you can see, in year 2021, we have 497 graduates, and it takes about 60.75% of our whole university. And most of them seek further study abroad, and about 29% go to the world-class top 10 universities, and about 83% go to the world-class top 100 universities. For facilities and labs, we have a lot of facilities and laboratory for our students. For example, we have the Sustainable Energy Research Laboratory, we have the Micro-Nano Manufacturing Super Clean Room, and we also provide the student with a virtual reality laboratory. And in our laboratory, we also provide the student with a lot of facilities, including about the robotic arms. So just like the pictures show. We also have a lot of research achievements. For example, we have 1 provincial energy center, we have 3 municipal K-labs, and we have more than 100 funded projects, and also more than 25 million external fundings. But here I just want to clarify. So the listed achievements are both from that are the joint effort from both of our students and also our academic staffs. And secondly, I will introduce you about our undergraduate programs. Just as we said before, we have 7 undergraduate programs. And due to the limited time, I just want to introduce you the main idea for each programs. And first is about computer science and technology. And this is one of the oldest major in XJTLU, and it combines the electrical and electronic engineering with those of computer science. So that means we both focus on the hardware and software in the computer science and technology. So for hardware, we will focus on the electrical circuits, the digital electronics, microprocessor system. And for the software, we have the programming, we have the computer system database, and all these are based on the engineering mathematics. And when you graduate, you will be prepared for the information technology industries, electronic and computer equipment manufacturers, and also the project consultancies. And the second one, we will introduce about the information and computer science. We also call this about ICS. It will cover all the aspects of the information and computer science. And we will ensure when you graduate, you will know exactly what is possible and what is not possible with computers. So compare with the first computer science and technology. So the ICS will mainly focus on the software. That means you will learn the algorithms related to the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all this will be based on the programming, the math, the algorithms, and the system development. When you graduate, you can do something related to the customer service, or you can be the graphic designer or computer engineer or technicians related to the information and computer science. And the next one is about the electrical engineering. So this will involve the contents related to the power, to the energy, to the instrumentation, control, power electronics, and computer integration. And we want to develop the students' understanding of the electrical engineer theories, and students will be equipped with the ability to solve the energy problems related to the power generation, the power transmission, distribution, detection, protection, and consumption. When you graduate, you can be the power engineer, you can be the control system engineer or process engineer. The fourth one is about electronic science and technology. And this program will focus on the microelectronic field, such as the chip process or the design of the integrated circuit. So for this program, we will offer you a solid foundation in the field of semiconductor, the microelectronics, and electronic engineers. After you graduate, you can do the work related to the IC design, to the semiconductor materials, to the IC applications. The next one is about the telecommunication engineering. So firstly, we will talk about what is telecommunication. I think the most important thing for telecommunication is we try to exchange the information. So if we want to exchange the information, we need to rely on the electronic devices such as our phone or our computer. And also the information we want to exchange is transformed into the signal, and the signal need to have the channel to pass. So we need to have the internet. So for telecommunication engineering, we will focus on these 3 parts for the internet, signal, and also the electronic devices. And after you graduate from the telecommunication engineering, you can be the communication technology engineer, you can be the telecommunication supplier engineer, or you can be the product engineer. The next one is about the mechatronics and robotic system. So from the name, you can know this program will focus on the mechatronics and also the robotic system. So MRS program aims to create intelligent machines that can interact with our environments. So as you can see, for the robotic arm or the vehicles on Mars or the robotics, they all have the mechanical structures, but without the electronic elements, they can't work. So this program is an interdisciplinary subject because it will contain of a lot of subjects. For example, it will contain of the mechanical engineering, the electrical engineering, the computer science, control engineering, and also the artificial intelligence. So after you graduate, you can enjoy a variety of industries. So for example, like the manufacturing, automotive, aerospace, medicals, even the software engineering, because you also need to understand the programming. The last one is about the digital media technology. And for this one, this is also a very new media program, and it will contain of the computer science, telecommunication, information technology, artificial intelligence, and also the arts. So when you graduate, you can do something related to the digital cinema, the virtual reality, the video, augmented environments, or the game industry. So if you want to know more about our school, so you can contact us with the email, or you can follow us by the WeChat official account or the Readbook official account. So that is all about our School of Advanced Technology. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Qinyao. Okay. So Professor John Mararos. Hi. Are you back?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, it works
Wonderful.
well. Works perfect. So now we're gonna have Professor John Mararos to talk about the School of Science, the programs, and their teaching and the research. Welcome.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to actually speak to our students and colleagues. I will start by sharing my screen.
Yeah. So you may share screen if you have PPT. Yeah, works well. To put it to the, you can press F5 to make it larger, maximum the screen. You play like you play that. So you try to find a slideshow on the top, the bar, the top, the slideshow, the icon. Seems that your computer stopped.
Introduce the School of Science. I am delighted to be with you. My name is Dr. John Mararos, and I am the Dean for the School of Science. I want to give a very brief history about both my university as an institution and the School of Science. Within the School of Science, we have 4 undergraduate programs, which I am going to detail moving forward. We have 3 approved postgraduate programs that are quite popular with the students, and 3 PhD programs. And one of the unique characteristics of XJTLU in the School of Science is that all our programs are taught in the English language, and therefore they provide additional opportunities for students to master those competencies and skills that are required within their discipline, but in a global setting, therefore to be highly competitive for employment opportunities, not only in China, but internationally. Much of the work that we do within the School of Science and as a university more widely is based on research-led learning, which basically means there are ample opportunities for students to translate much of the theoretical knowledge they gain in the classroom into an applied environment, and subsequently to partner with key industry corporations and have an opportunity to actually apply those skills in a real world setting, and to learn how the work that they do benefits our community, the disciplines, the industry. Of course, we're located in Suzhou, It's a city that's known China's paradise. Quite frankly, it's a lovely city. But what makes the city particularly attractive, at least to me and to many others in speaking with them, is how friendly the people of Suzhou happen to be, how helpful and how welcoming of people from across China and the world. Within the School of Science, we have over, actually it says here 60, but right now we have over 75 highly qualified academic staff. Many of them have completed degrees in Western type of an educational style from highly ranked universities, both in the UK and North America and the United States in particular. We have nearly 1,000 students now from all over the world, and we represent about 20 different nationalities. As you can imagine, this provides a very rich, diverse environment that allows our students to experience a truly international educational journey that best prepares them to become global leaders upon graduation. So I will specifically discuss our three departments. We have our Department of Biological Science, we have our Chemistry Department, and we have our Health and Environmental Science Department. And each one of them, while they happen to be quite unique in their own right, have developed an element of interdisciplinarity. And subsequently, it's not unusual to see on many occasions students from the different departments spending time together, working collaboratively on interdisciplinary projects of mutual interest, and subsequently building a community of true scholars. So by way of a very brief synopsis, summary of what we actually have to offer, when it comes to our UG programs, we have a Bachelor's of Science in Biological Science. We have a Bachelor's of Science in Bioinformatics that's increasingly becoming very, very popular. We have a Bachelor's of Science in Applied Chemistry and a world-renowned Bachelor's of Science in Environmental Science. When it comes to our postgraduate offerings, we have a Master's of Research in Molecular Bioscience, and we're very pleased to be able to offer an opportunity for students to complete that degree either on a full-time basis or part-time basis. We have an equally highly qualified Master's of Research in Advanced Chemical Science. And most recently, we're very pleased to receive permission from the Ministry of Education to launch a Master's of Research in Environmental Science starting this fall. And we're already getting significant interest from students. When it comes to our PhD offerings, we have a PhD in Biological Science, a PhD in Chemistry, and a PhD in Public Health. And especially coming out of the pandemic, there's an increased awareness among the public about the importance of public health, and many students have expressed a keen interest to actually complete the doctoral studies in this very important, increasingly popular area that has direct benefits to improving the quality of life of people, not only in China, but across the world, especially when taken into account the field of preventative medicine and public health. Biological science in particular, we have an internationally trained faculty that come from across the world. Many of them come with very rich experiences in running and directing their own respective labs. Presently, we have 21 academic faculty. We're aiming to have 26 come September. Many of our academic staff are trained at top institutions worldwide, including colleagues from Harvard, Stanford, Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial College in the UK, MIT in the United States, and the University of California. And many of them are conducting very exciting national and internationally competitive research. And they provide tremendous opportunities for students to once again highly benefit by getting involved very early in their studies on research-led activities that reinforce much of the learning that takes place in the classroom. And at the same time, it allows them to enrich their experience and expand their knowledge. As you can see here, our recent destinations of students going on to graduate studies from our Bachelor's of Science in Biology. 47% of them happen to go to top 10 globally recognized universities in the world, and we already listed a number of them. This year in particular, we're even more successful, and in fact, we had nearly 66% of our graduates ending up in top 10 schools, and over 94% of our graduates ended up attending top 100 universities in the world. So we're very proud of their accomplishments, and many of those graduates, they stay in contact with us. They appraise us of their advances and progress. Many a times they continue to seek our feedback. They have developed very strong relationships with us, and they always feel that the School of Science and XJTLU remains their home. And we're very, very proud of them and want to make a commitment to continue to support their academic and professional growth. Here's a number of our graduates who went on to do some wonderful things. Insofar as chemistry is concerned, chemistry is equally as accomplished. And one quick note with regards to biology. It is very noteworthy to mention that our Bachelor's of Science in Biological Science is accredited by the Royal Society of Biology out of the United Kingdom, which is the highest standard of quality assurance when it comes to an academic setting. So we're very proud to have that accreditation. In fact, our biology program was the first one in China to receive such a global distinction. Our chemistry department is equally as well recognized, and quite frankly, when we think about chemistry, you have to take into consideration that chemistry is always at the heart of science development across the world, and in many different disciplines that initially you may not think they are chemistry related. That includes energy research, drug discovery, food technologies, nanotechnology, and certainly advanced material research. Quite frankly, at this point in time, the Department of Chemistry is making a commitment under the wider administrative umbrella of the School of Science to develop an undergraduate degree in material science upon the request of many of our students and their parents, and hoping to be able to launch that by September of next year. Our equipment and our facilities are top-notch and quite frankly, highly competitive globally. We have very spacious student laboratory spaces available to our students, both for organic and inorganic chemistry, and many of the other courses. We provide them with a total of now 35 fume hoods in the student labs to allow them to comfortably and competently complete their chemistry experiments. And subsequently, we're able to accommodate more than 70 students at one time. Some of our student achievements from the chemistry department since 2014, over 90% of our graduate students will continue their postgraduate studies in top universities in the world. Some of them, and quite frankly, the majority of them, on full or partial scholarships. And again, some of the universities where chemistry graduates go on to complete their master's and doctoral studies are world renowned, such as Oxford University, Auburn University in the United States, Queen's University, both in England and in Canada, University of Ottawa, which is an extremely prestigious university in Canada as well, the University of Cambridge, and the University of Edinburgh. So far as chemistry job opportunities are concerned, they're interspersed in a wide area of growing fields, including governmental agencies, where they conduct environmental analysis, food safety monitoring and forensic labs, mining industries, the cosmetic industry that has become very popular over the last decade and it's increased in size. Hospitals provide a lot of researchers that do the technical analysis to provide the medical diagnosis supports to patients. Food industries, instrument manufacturers, including engineering and technical cells, water industries, academic institutions, textile industries, the space industry that's become a priority for China and the world, and certainly a lot of pharmaceutical industries and research institutions. And again, just like our biology department, the Department of Chemistry was accredited by the Royal Society of Chemistry back in 2016. It was the first one in China to receive such a distinguished honor, and we were re-accredited in 2021, received full accreditation for the next 5 years. And we're very, very proud because that's a reminder and reassurance that the work that we do meets and exceeds the highest standards globally. We also have a very strong health and environmental science department, which most recently ranked in the 1% globally insofar as research publications are concerned. And for those of you who may not know the intersection between health and environmental science, if you were to take the most recent pandemic we had to face into consideration, can quickly see how zoonosis, which typically means diseases that are predominantly found among animals, are being transmitted from animals to humans. Therefore, what's particularly noteworthy is that these type of diseases, the zoonosis, comprise about 60% of all infectious disease among humans and 75% of all emerging infectious diseases in the world. So some of the factors that are increasing zoonosis emergence, in other words, the diseases that are transmitted from animals to humans, are many of the things that we're doing as part of urbanizing our environment. So subsequently, the deforestation and other land use changes, the illegal and poorly regulated wildlife trade, the antimicrobial resistance that increasingly we're experiencing globally. It's becoming a primary issue of public health concern. The intensified agriculture and livestock production, our efforts to try to keep on feeding an ever increasing population globally. And as many of you have heard, the impact of climate change. One of the things that are particularly unique in the School of Science is the final year project. So in the final year project, students are required to undertake what is known as a mini research project for the entire year under the caring mentorship of a highly accomplished researcher faculty member. So these projects are to be carried out in a real research environment. And in many instances, a lot of those topics are aiming to tackle real research objectives on the basis of trying to solve real world problems. So at the end of the project, a year later, students are required to submit what is known as a thesis. It basically details the background, the experimental methodology, and the discussion of the results. And the program provides the students with a good, I would say, undergraduate type of taste what a research career potentially may look like, and subsequently to stimulate their interest insofar as pursuing such a pathway and to expose them to the best and most current practices when it comes to conducting research in a very scientific environment. This is very practical, hands-on experience that our students uniformly very much enjoy. It's a lot of work, it can be very challenging, but it can also be very rewarding because you're working with real problems, as I mentioned before. And you use the most modern technology on the basis of standing facilities and equipment. And subsequently, you have an opportunity to work very closely even with graduate students at the master's and PhD level to form groups that are highly competitive in nature, and they're trying to establish a career both within an academic and an industrial environment setting. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I look forward to welcome many of you to School of Science and XJTLU at large.
Thank you, John, and many thanks to our two faculty staff. So now we have prepared, like several frequently asked questions that we believe that our potential students might be also very interested. So I'm going to raise questions one by one to our guests. So please share your opinions with us. So my first question is, what kind of research opportunities are available for STEAM students at XJTLU? So that's for our two staff. So you may talk from your school's perspective. Yeah. So, John.
I'll be happy. One of the things that we have spent a lot of time emphasizing is the relatedness between the work that we do in the classroom and subsequently the industry. So we have developed very strong relationships with many industry partners, and I'm very pleased to say that they are very kind in accepting our students in their own industrial setting and providing them with, again, hands-on practical experiences on a variety of research topics that are not only relevant to sparking the intellectual curiosity and interest of our students, but provide real solutions, real-life solutions to our industry partners. Typically, that involves G3 collaborations, and the university has a very extensive network that provides us opportunities to all students, not just the science students. For us, we are very fortunate as a School of Science because in Suzhou, as many of you potentially know, we happen to be at the center of the pharmaceutical industry. And subsequently, on many occasions, a number of CEOs of the different industries within the pharmaceutical companies have reached out, signed an MOU, a memorandum of agreement, whereby we're exchanging both faculty and especially students, and we work very collaboratively on exciting projects that have real life impact. So students very much enjoy those experiences, and subsequently, I believe it's one of the strengths of an XJTLU educational experience, that our students, by the time they graduate, feel well prepared to join the industry, to hit the ground running, and to have very successful careers.
Great, thank you, John. So Dr. Qin Yao, so would you please share some of your opinions with us for the School of Advanced Technology?
So for the research opportunities, so
Yes.
So here I think there are some many ways we do for the research opportunities for our students. So for example, for undergraduate students, our school, also our university provides the summer undergraduate research projects, and that is served. So each project can accept about 6 students as members at most. So I think students can choose the project based on your interest and also the knowledge area. And also, just as Professor John said, we have the FYP, so final year project, and this is also a very important research opportunities for our undergraduate students. And you can follow, so if you have the serve experience before, and you can also continue your project based on your serve project to do the final year project, because this is compulsory for every student. And also some research group will also provide the opportunities for students to be the research assistants. And in addition, our school also have a lot of competitions for undergraduate students. Like we have the Room Master competition, we have 3D printing competitions, and so on. And I think these are all the research opportunities for our students.
Thank you, Qin Yao. So the next,
And one quick note, if I may, I just want to emphasize as well the fact that, as you can well imagine, the requirement to complete research, especially at the postgraduate and graduate level, the doctoral level, is very, very high. In fact, most recently, XJTLU adopted a policy whereby we have expanded our Masters of Research programming from 16 months to 24 months to allow our students to have a full year to explore and engage in very meaningful research opportunities.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. So my next question is also for both of you. So can you tell us more about the practical components for your programs from your school? So such as like lab work or the internship opportunities for our students.
Yeah, so in the School of Science, a very good proportion of every single module, every single course contains a practical component. Because much of the work that we do as scientists is more than just theoretical. And subsequently, our students need to spend significant time in the lab, mastering their skills, applying their knowledge, coming up with possible solutions. Many times they have to troubleshoot certain difficult challenges that the faculty present to them. And that stimulates, again, their intellectual curiosity and interest in coming up with innovative solutions. I think it's also quite important that in many instances, we partner with, again, industry, whereby they very kindly accept our students in their own very professional, commercialized environment and give them a real world taste of what it feels like being an active scientist in that type of highly competitive environment. That's why many a times our students, again, when they graduate, a couple of years later, they report back to us that they were very grateful to have an XJTLU education because they felt they were highly prepared to be extremely competitive once they entered the workforce and to be highly productive.
Thank you, John. So Qin Yao, would you please talk something more about this SAT school, your lab work or your internship provided to students?
So just as we introduced before, so there are 8 well-equipped research entities in our school. and every student will have the access to use the lab equipment or join the research project. And also for our modules, it will include some practical lab contents. And also, if you join the project research group, you will have the opportunity to have the support for the practical components. So for example, I'm from the Department of Mechatronics and Robotics. So for our department, in our laboratory, we have the robotic arms for different companies, and our modules, like the Max 305, Max 309, will have some practical practice on the robotic control algorithm design, and also for the mechanical design for the robotic arms. I think these are all the practical components for our university and also for our school, which can provide to our students.
The truth of the matter is that both SAT, the School of Advanced Technology, and the School of Science have the most expensive equipment on campus by necessity because of our disciplines. And we're not afraid to let our students use it, of course, under mentorship and direct supervision. And many times the students very much appreciate having an opportunity to work with that highly efficient, highly technical, and very expensive equipment because they see the kind of work that is going to require of them when they enter the workforce.
That's right. Yeah, I agree with Sean. Because if you have time, you come to visit our campus, you will find the campus is like, very modernized. We are full of the very modernizing equipments and facilities. So my next question is, are there any most popular programs or the programs in demand among of XJTLU students? So would you please introduce the most popular programs to our international students? Yeah.
So to be very honest with you, our most popular, I view all my programs in the School of Science as my children, and I don't like picking favorites. I love each one of them, and quite frankly, they have a lot to offer to each particular student, depending on their own interests. But if you go by purely numbers, the most popular program that we do have in the School of Science happens to be biological science for a variety of reasons. It's well established. It has an excellent reputation globally. It has some outstanding faculty that have been trained at the highest level from top-notch universities across the world. There are a lot of practical opportunities of engagement, and it's highly competitive. We have received the quality assurance and stamp of approval by the Royal Society of Biology. However, our Department of Chemistry and the programs within chemistry, especially the one that we're proposing to offer hopefully by next year in material science, are becoming increasingly extremely popular and very competitive in order to get in for students. So subsequently, again, the opportunity for chemistry students to engage in real life practical settings, to partner with industry, to translate their skills and knowledge from an academic setting to a real world work environment has increased our popularity significantly. Another new program that has become very popular over the last couple of years, and with good reason, because there are many advances in this field, and the field is growing extraordinarily rapidly globally, is bioinformatics. Bioinformatics is housed within the biological science, but it's a very distinctive field that combines both computer science and the use of computer science in order to study biology-related and health-related problems. The other program that is, again, very popular because of the opportunities for students to do different type of work is our environmental science. And the environmental science program is geared more for students who, instead of spending time in the lab, they would prefer to spend time out in nature. They want to study the agricultural and urban settings. They want to study more about the different diseases that may be impacting the agricultural environment. They may want to have a very keen interest and study and investigate pollution as it relates to our air, to our earth, soil, and to our water. These areas have become, again, a priority by the United Nations on a global level. And we have determined that we have a dearth. We have a very small number of scientists with expertise in this area, and that's why this field is growing very quickly. So those are the most popular programs. All three programs are quite popular in their own right, depending on the specific interest by our students. And we're here to support them equally as well to have a very successful career.
Thank you, John. So Chiao, can you tell us the most popular programs in SAT?
As we introduced before, our SAT has 7 undergraduate programs and 9 PG programs. So for undergraduate programs, and there are many popular programs actually, but I think the most popular programs are the information and computer science and also the electronic science and technology. So because every year a lot of students apply for these 2 programs. And for the information and computer science, so this is mainly based on the software. So it will including about the most hot topic about the artificial intelligence and machine learnings, optimizations, and so on. For the EST, it's mainly focused on the microelectronic field and some related areas. So as you can see, this is they are not only the hot, not only the popular programs in our school, but also the hot topic in the society.
And in fairness, that's where the jobs are over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, thank you both. So my next question are designed specifically for one of you. So the next questions are for John. So how does the XJTLU, I mean the STEAM curriculum differ from the other universities from both in China or abroad?
Yes, I think it starts with the academic pedagogical philosophy that XJTLU has as an academic institution. And quite frankly, it is one of having a holistic educational experience for our students. So it's very important for our students to note that we spend a lot of time providing them with significant supports simply because we want them to be successful. And that involves not only the academic advisory that takes place from our highly qualified faculty, but we also have what are known as developmental advisors that look after the students on a personal note and try to provide them the supports they require while they transition from the previous academic institutions to our own academic institution. So in many respects, that holistic approach encompasses many different layers and many different aspects, and quite frankly has a significant impact that many times our students don't realize until after graduation. They have entered either graduate school and they quickly realize how well prepared they are on the basis of the education they received here, or they receive a job opportunity and they start work and they again come to realize how competitive they are and how well prepared they've been to do their job highly effectively and with minimal transition time. And that speaks to the fact that we try to combine different elements within our pedagogical philosophy. So for instance, the theoretical component happens to be one of them. The practical component is another. The practical component can involve many different type of opportunities for our students to learn. And that would be through individual work in the lab, group assignments that are equally as important to try to develop the soft skills that increasingly are required of graduates insofar as having the ability to speak confidently, having the ability to work within a team setting, having the ability to be a leader and a good listener and supporter of larger interdisciplinary teams, because that's the real world environment they're going to encounter upon graduation. And then the constant encouragement they receive by our faculty in pushing them to greater heights, in encouraging them to achieve their ultimate educational goals and to be the best version of themselves in an environment that's not competitive on an individual level, but rather we want you to become the best version of you by the time you graduate from here, and subsequently to have the confidence in your abilities and in your skills to be able to continue your journey, whether it would be an academic, industry related. So we're very proud of our system, and it has proven to work extremely well. Now, every year we refine it a little more, and most recently, I would say the last 5 years, an additional component that we have incorporated into our educational curriculum is the opportunity for students to spend time with an industry partner in a real world setting. Because quite frankly, it's very difficult to duplicate that experience within our academic institution. So we're very grateful to our industry partners for their kind support and assistance, and for welcoming students and providing them the practical experience, mentorship that's required in order to make sure that they achieve their highest goals.
Thank you, John. So further, so can you share some like successful examples of our like graduates from the School of Science? Like,
The School
yeah.
of Science.
Yeah.
So many of our graduates, most recently, in fact, I came back from a trip into Shenzhen, which is another big city here in China, South China, and a number of them here in Suzhou have gone on to start their own companies. So it's so exciting and quite impressive to see young entrepreneurs starting their own companies on the basis of their own vision, their own passions and aspirations, but always with a willingness to use science and to leverage the knowledge they have gained during their education here at XJTLU in order to make a significant difference in a better world. So there are too many of them to mention, and it wouldn't be fair to just highlight one or two simply because those are not the exception in the School of Science. Those are actually the majority of students who go on to do some great things. They become very big supporters of XJTLU. Quite frankly, our best ambassadors within the School of Science.
Thank you, John. So Qingyao, so my last question is for you. So can you share any information about the types of careers that your school's graduate like typically will pursue after graduation?
So, most of our graduates will continue their study, but they also enjoy the excellent career prospects. So we also mentioned this part in the introduction part. So for example, because we have a lot of programs. So for example, if you are the graduates from the program of the mechatronics and robotics system, for now, due to the trend of the industrial 4.0, so you can find the employment in the engineering companies, including about the manufacturing, the automotive, aerospace, and even the medical domain to design some algorithms for the automatic drive like this. And if you are the graduates from the telecommunication engineering, so maybe you can be the communication technology engineer in Huawei, that, and so on. So, or you can be a telecommunication supplier engineer in the China Mobile, maybe the China Unicom and other supplier companies. So for different programs, so I think our undergraduates will have the different careers. So that is my answers for this question.
And if I may, I agree with my colleague from School of Advanced Technology, and I'd like to make a concluding remark, if I may. I think it's very important to realize that STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, of course, has become a priority for the Chinese government. And subsequently, they have invested significant resources in building both the academic programming and the necessary infrastructure to try to not only support Chinese students, but welcome students from across the world in this type of enriching environment and to provide them those opportunities, simply because they realize that China plays a significantly increasing role insofar as becoming a world leader in meeting the workforce demands for the future. And subsequently, they want to make a commitment to reinforce the nation's competitiveness within this global arena. And that's why over the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years, STEM has become a priority in China as part of their national strategic plan. And we have seen this kind of success that we were able to actually share with most of you so far as our most recent graduates. The other unique feature for us is that we're not the typical Chinese university. So while we benefit from many of the Chinese traditional academic experiences and valuable lessons from the past, we're able to also avail our students to a UK type of educational experience. And subsequently, we take a lot of different factors into consideration as we build these original innovations, and we try to address the inefficiencies within the industry when it comes to having the original innovations and thoughts and pushing the advancement of the technologies within a global setting. So for all those reasons, we're looking to develop a more highly scientific and technological talent that's not just centered in China, but it's global in nature. And subsequently, I think XJTLU in China can be a wonderful destination for our international students, simply because we have made such a significant headway in exploring these practical pathways, further developing a STEM curriculum and education, and becoming highly competitive globally.
Thank you for both for such an inspiring speech. So we're now going to enter into like free QA session. So we have noticed that